good cup of water, some links that need to get posted. Select, copy, and bring it in. Tonight, we're doing a little bit of focusing down on some channel fundraising. We're going to talk some Disney things, take a trip down memory lane as well a little bit. I'm going to be talking about this journey that we've gone on as we do some of this today. What an amazing journey it has been. I was thinking about, while Jenna was here, about all the cool, crazy stuff that I've done here in Walt Disney World, the years that have flown by as I continue to live and play in the place where most people vacation once, twice a year, if they go a lot. That's for most people who go a lot. To have gone to the places that I've been as many times as I've been there, to have experienced the things that I've experienced as many times as I've experienced them, continues to show that this has been a successful journey. And it's only successful because of you all. As we've continued to do this, people have been more than generous when it comes to making sure that these adventures go on. And because I decided to not take the past few weeks off, Rory's got some. Hey! It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Because I've taken the past few weeks to kind of hang out with Mike and Lisa and Jenna while they were here, and we did about as much as much Festival of the Arts as was physically possible. It has been a tremendously good beginning of the year for the Tom Does Disney channel. We've had some good nights. Some of our best streams in the past year or so have been in the past few months, numbers-wise. We've gotten back to a consistently good amount of people to tune in every night. Hello to everybody that is tuning in. I know that there's a lot of things you could be doing tonight, so I appreciate you stopping in and hitting that like button. Make sure you do that. First things first. Huge shout out to Pierce and everybody who's chipped in on the weekly goal thus far. Tonight we're going to kind of focus in on the goal. If you're somebody that's always thought to yourself, $5, $10 towards the Tom Does Disney adventure, tonight's the night as we go down this memory lane trip. So let's talk about it. In October of the year 2018, I decided that it was time to come back to Walt Disney World for the first time in about 8 years, I would say it had been at that point. The last trip I had taken would have been with my friend Mark when Harry Potter first opened. We went to Universal and we went to Disney one day where we did Epcot and we drank around the world. Other than that, I had gone with Lucas to Disney a few days in my adult life. I had taken my ex-girlfriend Lauren to Disney for a few days and Universal. And besides that, I had lived down here where I went to Disney a lot with my grandpa for about a year. And I had also taken several trips here as a kid, starting when I was like super young, 4, 5 years old was my first Disney trip. In that time, I've seen a lot of things change. I've got memories. I don't have the core memories that some people have. Things like Dreamfinder or Horizons or 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or the Skyliner in Magic Kingdom back when it existed. I have fleeting memories of these things, especially 20,000 Leagues, but really I was kind of out of the Disney loop. I was never a Disney person as much as I was just kind of going with the flow. That was a good vacation spot. I'm a pretty untraveled dude, so I typically end up going to Disney World, a place that I'm familiar with. Those trips were great. Coming here as a kid, blast, right? My first trip I ever stayed on property was with my grandma when All Star Sports first opened. We stayed there. It was a blast. Disney Quest was still open in downtown Disney. Everything was old school, and we stayed here for a week, and those were my first like Disney memories. Dieter, Naomi, good evening, everybody. We're doing some channel fundraising tonight, everybody. The links are in the pinned comment if you'd like to chip into the adventures. We need to make a couple bucks tonight to get back out there and refill up that Disney gift card this week and continue on our path. So if you're somebody who typically wonders when you should support the channel, today would be a particularly good day to click either of those links. As I take us all down memory lane, we're in the beginning stages, so stay tuned for the whole thing. My first trip with my grandma, 1 week, All-Star Sports. After that, my next trips were with my grandpa, who loved Disney World, and we eventually moved here to Florida when I was about 8.5. We lived in Port St. Lucie. We had an annual pass. We came up, I'd say, once every other month or so. Maybe it was a little more than that. Maybe it was every like 4 or 5 weeks. Probably every 5-6 weeks, something like that. I don't think it was really once a month, but it could have been. I was young. At the time, I was more into Universal, which is where I dragged him more of the time. And it was great. I have a lot of memories from those times, especially Universal things like Hulk and Dueling Dragons. And, I think definitely Poseidon was one of those things that I first was like blown away by at a theme park. Like Poseidon's Fury, you know what I mean? That ride is so cool. Galen, good evening, my friend. Going down memory lane here. But Disney, we'll stay on the Disney side. I have a lot of core memories at that time of Universal. Jaws and King Kong, and oh my god, Islands had just opened up, Jurassic Park, and it was just so cool. Ari is pawing my feet. She has become such a she's biting at him. She's become such a good dog. Show everybody how cute you've become while I take us down the moon. Paula, thank you so much. I saw that you became a Patreon today. That was very nice of you. Thank you very much. Patreon is that platform that I still continue to not exactly understand how to use, but it does support the channel, which is what we're trying to do here tonight as well. So if you're somebody that wants to support the adventures, click those links, and tomorrow we will be back out here on the adventures. I do have to bring my car to Toyota, but I think maybe at night I'm going to head over to Epcot for a little nighttime vibe. The next trips were with my friends. I was not an adult, but I was grown enough that I was taking trips by myself. So, pretty adult. I mean, definitely those trips with Mark, I was a full-fledged adult. I lived on my own for years at that point. But I went with Lucas when we were just out of high school. No, actually, I went with Lauren first when we were just out of high school. My freshman year of college. Her senior year, when she graduated, I took her to Disney. We went, oh my God, we saw the Electrical Light Parade. We saw Wishes. It was when the Wave had first opened. The Wave was like a brand new restaurant at Disney, and like we found out about it. Somebody told us on the monorail, and we ended up going. And it was actually the place where I had my first alcoholic beverage. I was, and this was a long time ago. I'm 35 now. This was 15 years ago. Things were a little different back then, and I don't condone this by any means, but I was 20. We were there in June, and my 21st birthday was in November. And I asked the lady at the Wave, I was like, "Oh, we're staying here on property. I forgot my ID at the resort because you don't need any of that stuff." I was born, and I said the year earlier, I was like 87. And she was like, "Okay." That's where I had my first ever like drink outside of like just drinking with my friends at the house, basically, which we did all the time, but that was fun. I remember going on Space Mountain like hyped up. I was like, yeah. Ari, what's up? What do you need? We need to go out? Let's go outside then. Scuba Steve, hello. Come on. This is what you're pawing at. You want to be out here? Let's be out here then. This is where you want to be. Let's be here. Sorry, my lighting's going to be worse because I came outside because Ari's... I don't know what she's doing. I think she just wants to get this last little bit of fresh air today. My trip with Lauren was great. We actually had a blast. We had a lot of good memories that happened. I crashed my grandpa's car. That was rough. I ended up telling him that somebody at Universal hit us. It was a crazy couple days. Hi, Duffy. Hello, Scuba Steve. So then my next trip back to Disney was with Lucas the year after, because Lauren and I had a trip that we booked, but we broke up, and Lucas ended up taking over her, you know, itinerary, basically. And we had a blast. Oh my God. Me and Lucas had the craziest time ever. I was in my second year of college, and let's just say I was experimenting with plenty of different things. Not with Lucas. As I've told you, Lucas and I, we've had crazy stories, but none of those particular types of stories that got romantic. Don't take my words the wrong way. We were experimenting with, let's just say, different types of beer. There's all kinds of different beers, you know. We were mixing different kind of beers together. And when I tell you we had a wild trip to Disney World, we had a wild trip to Disney World. I mean, I remember being in Magic Kingdom like, what in the world? And then I turned around and he was gone. I had everything. I had the keys, the hotel key, the key to the car. I turned to say something to Lucas and he's gone. And like I said, we were on all kinds of beer. We had a lot of different beer. And I was like, man, where is this guy, right? And I turned and I looked, and I saw this store. It was, I think at the time, what must be Frontier Trading Post now. I think it was still Frontier Trading Post back then, and I looked at it and I was like, that is where he is. It has a big belt buckle, like cowboy thing. Adriana's in the house. James, hello everybody. I'm just going down memory lane while we do some channel fundraising. Please, guys, and if you want to help support the adventure, please, please, please click the links and donate as much as you feel, as much as you care to. $5, $10, it all goes a long way. We're gonna have a big week, so we gotta get after it early. Back to the stories. So hey, Art, stay out here. So me and Lucas, I turn around, I go into the store. There he is, staring at belt buckles. They got names on them. I go up to him, I'm like, dude, what the hell? You can't do that. This place is like way too busy. Like I would have lost you. We don't have cell phones at the time, really. We did, but he didn't. I had one, Lucas didn't. And I was like, dude, you don't have a cell phone, like you live in the past. He's like, oh. And I tell Lucas this all the time. It's one of my favorite moments I've ever had in Disney. Lucas looked at me and goes, oh, dude, don't worry about it. I knew you'd find me. He said, dude, don't worry about it. I knew you'd find me. I was like, wow, okay, you must be feeling pretty good too then, huh? And, we had a great day. We did everything you could imagine. And then the next day we went to Hollywood Studios, which at the time was MGM. And we did the, God, I want to say at the time, there was no... I want to say at the time there was no backlot tour anymore. I think it had just kind of gone away. But the Great Movie Ride was still there. Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower Terror, all that stuff. And I didn't really ride much stuff, but I do remember, like halfway through the day, I went to get a turkey leg. And I went and sat on a bench that's outside of Fantasmic. I'll point it out to you next time I'm there. And I remember sitting on it. And I don't know what happened. It was daytime when I sat on the bench. And when I came to, it was it was basically nighttime. It was right about this kind of time of night. And Lucas comes strolling up on me. Yes, this is my only source of the income. I mean, you know, this is, you know, Instagram and Patreon, YouTube, ad rev from that, as well as PayPal's and Venmo's all kind of crowdfund the adventures. So anybody that's hoping to help out tonight, please feel free to click those links as I take you down my memory lane. So far, to recap you up, my first trips were as a kid with my grandmother. I stayed on property. Grandpa came a bunch. By the time I hit this trip with Lucas, after the trip with Lauren, I'm probably at about my 20th trip to Walt Disney World. I'm feeling very good about myself. I know all the rides. I know, you know, how it all works. I feel very good about myself. I don't know everything. I don't know the ins and outs, but I know Disney. I know how to go to a theme park. So I fall asleep on this bench, apparently. I still got the turkey leg in my hand. I'm like, whoa. Oh, we must have had too many beers, right? So I'm like, where's Lucas? You know, a couple minutes later, he comes like strolling up Hollywood Boulevard, like out the Rock and Roller Coaster area. Comes right over to me like he knew where I was. He goes, "Oh, you're awake." I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, man, I went on Rock and Roller Coaster and I came off and you were passed out with that turkey leg." So I just went back on like 6 times. I was like, "Oh, cool." He's like, "How you feeling?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm like kind of bad. Like but I guess I feel better now." Like, he's like, "Oh, good." And so I was like, let's do something. So we went and we walked up to like where the old hat used to be, the big Sorcerer Mickey hat. And we hung out up there for a little while. And then we were like, let's go on the Great Movie Ride. We went on the Great Movie Ride. We went through the queue. I was fine. We get on the machine. We were in the back row, far left corner. I'll never forget this till the day I die. The Great Movie Ride started moving. And if you remember the Great Movie Ride, it was a very slow moving ride. But anyway, as soon as it started moving, I was instant sick. I puked. I puked off the back side of it, right? Like, not into my lap. I puked off the thing. But the guy who was driving it must not have seen that I did that, because they would have stopped it. But, so we're in the first room, maybe 2-3 minutes into it. They must have loaded the next thing, and the next guy's about to start taking them up, and they must have seen. So they stopped the ride, and they, cleaned it up. And then the ride started going again. Lucas, the whole time, he was like, "Dude, that's because of your puke." I was like, "Come on, man, I feel bad enough. Like, I understand what it is. Like, what did you want me to puke in our laps? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. What was I supposed to do?" He's like, "Yeah, like, this was a crazy adventure." I'm like, "Yeah, it was." So, we ended up, like, riding the ride. It was okay. We got off. I was like, I gotta get the hell out of here. We went home. And I didn't come back to Disney for, like, 2 or 3 years. And then Harry Potter Land was opening, and Mark and I were like, we're going to Harry Potter Land. So we went to the opening day of Harry Potter. It was insane. There was a queue like I had never seen. It was outrageous. It was an outrageous day. I can't begin to tell you how crazy it was. But it was a blast. We had so much fun. We got wands. We rode the ride. We rode all the ride. We had so much fun. It was just like the best time ever. And then Mark had actually also come with me way back in the day. Oh my God, that's true too. Mark and I had gone to we had gone a couple times now that I think about it. Wow, that's crazy to think. Anyway, yeah, but we went for that, and it was a blast. And then we went to Epcot, and it was my first drinking around the world experience. That's when it kind of started to become a thing. People talked about it. Everybody, all of our friends were like, "Oh, you got to drink around the world when you get there." So we did. We drank around the world. It was a crazy night, but we had a lot of fun. We rode, you know, Maelstrom and Soarin', Spaceship Earth, all that stuff. Test track. We rode it all, and then we went and drank around the world all night. It was sick. We were good drinking at that point. Like we could do it easily. But I'll tell you what, I had to pee so bad at the end. We drank around the world hard too. Every country, full things, because there was no festival going on at the time, and if there was, we weren't paying attention to it. We just went for the full cups, and we got smashed. But I remember one of our best moments was we got to Norway, and we only had the one country left, no, I'm sorry, we were in Germany, and we were trying to order beer, and we didn't know what to get. And the guy was like, "What do you like to drink?" Because he was a German guy back then, you know. Now it's coming back to that, but he was super German. He was like, my friend was like, "Oh, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, like Miller." And the guy goes, "Ah, the champagne of beers," he said. We died. We still say it to this day. It's a quote that we use all the time. We go, "Ah, the champagne of beers." It was the funniest thing. We killed it. We ended up having margaritas in Mexico, and I was like, dude, we gotta get the hell out of here. We took the bus back to the resort, and I was so smashed that I was like, dude, I have to pee, and there's no like bathrooms on these buses. Like, what do you do? And he was like, well, when we get out, you're just gonna have to run to a bathroom. And I ended up like running into the woods. I had to pee so bad. I was like, I'm gonna pee my pants, dude. It's gonna be disgusting. Yeah, I ended up like running into the woods. It was hilarious. Florida woods too. Now that I look back on it, that was insane. Over near Animal Kingdom, crazy. Oh man, because that's where we had. Oh yeah, we started our day at Animal Kingdom. I forgot. I always forget that part. Or yeah, how did that go? I don't even remember. God, I gotta talk to Mark to mesh those trips together. Now talk about drinking. Now we were really drinking then on those trips. Priscilla, Edwin. Good evening, everybody. All right, I think Ari's had enough outside now. Maybe we can. Now that it's getting dark, puppers, can we go back in, please? I'm gonna get eaten out here. Come on. Good girl. That's my little buddy. You listen so good, huh? A little listening, Sheba. Quentin, good evening, everybody. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. This is fantastic to see so many names. You guys take us down memory lane here. Because boy, is it an adventure, memory lane. So, let's get to the good stuff now. When all this started, it had been a long time since I had gone to Disney World or Universal. I was a grown-ass man at this point. It's 2018 now. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, I heard word on the YouTube that Jaws is getting taken away and they're going to put more Harry Potter down there in Universal. And I started thinking about Disney. And I look at it and I'm like, wow, there's a whole new fantasy land there that I've never seen. There's a Pandora that I've never seen. There's this Toy Story land that had just opened. I was like, sounds like this is a good time to go to Disney. Disney had just acquired Star Wars. Marvel was exploding. I was like, this is a good time to maybe go back and give this company my money. I went with my dad, October 2018. We stayed at Coronado, and I decided, and actually I have it because I was showing Jenna, but I took this little camera right here. Look at this little Canon elf with my little modification. I made this little wind mic, this little wind muff. I love this little camera. I can't believe I shot vlogs on this thing. Rock steady too. That first trip's vlogs, they're just fine. I mean, it looks like dated now, which I like. I like that I didn't have at the time like some Canon 5D Mark III at the time, I guess, or 4 in 2018. Like, I would have been like, you know, my vlogs would look the same throughout the whole. They definitely, as it's gotten, even just through the streams and stuff, you know, the streams look better quality than that. We went down and we had a blast. We did all the parks. It was insane. All the parks. We did Magic, we did Animal Kingdom, we did Hollywood Studios and Epcot. It was crazy. Whirlwind of an adventure. My dad hadn't been since the park was, since he was young. Maybe 19, you know, 70 something. And he had a blast. Pandora, Epcot, the food. Cheshire Cattails was like the first thing we did at Disney World. And then we went and rode Ariel. And it was like just this perfect beginning because it was like this new ride that I had never seen. Cheshire Cattails were like super good. I was like, oh wow, Disney's got cool food now. Devora, what's up there, stranger? Welcome back from, or should I say konnichiwa. Tome wa doko desu ka? Devora just got back from Tokyo, everybody. That's why we're just making these jokes. It was a good trip. I come back from the trip and I was like, you know, why not just like post some of this stuff on an Instagram? Next thing I know, the Instagram had like a couple thousand followers and I was like, wait a minute. What's up with that? You know, my personal Instagram that I've used forever, right? Since it came out, I'm like, doesn't have anything like that. And I was never somebody that like hunted for likes on my posts, but if my Facebook post got a bunch of likes, I was like, oh, that's cool. So I thought to myself, like, damn, this would be cool because I could have like hundreds of people liking these posts, and that's what happened. I went back and looked at some of those early posts, 400 or 500 likes, more likes than I get now on videos. It really kind of popped, and I was lucky in that way that the Instagram kind of exploded because I was able to put a foothold into a community that was bubbling. At the time, there was really very few vloggers. Tim Tracker had about 100K. Everybody else was nowhere close. Michael K had like 25. Nate had maybe 20. Dev had 20. Braden had something like, 50 to maybe closer to 100. It was really nobody out in the game. Like, everybody that did it was not a lot of people. Josh and Jenna had the most subs by a considerable amount in terms of the live streaming stuff. Jen, Tanya, that guy, Theme Park Rover, what was his name? I forget what his name was. We used to see him all the time, but there were very few people that were doing it. Corey was doing it. There was very few people. It was a budding community. And luckily, I was able to get to know some people, and I had a blast. I decided it was like time to go for it. I booked another trip as soon as I got back. I edited the vlogs, I put them up, started the YouTube. I went with my buddy Alex in December. I bought that Canon M50 that's sitting up here that we record all the Lego content through up there. Still working hard to this day. That camera's probably got 5,000 hours worth of time that it's been turned on. The water, it's gone down Splash Mountain. It's been in the Florida sun. It's live streamed Lego for 10 hours plus. Oh man. That's a good camera right there. I moved on, and then I had a blast. I had so much fun with Alex. We did a great trip. I was super content focused at that time, so we came down with a mission. We crushed it. I saw a lot of things that I had never seen before. Holiday events. My dad and I went to my first ever Mickey's Not So Scary. Alex and I went to my first ever Mickey's Very Merry. It was epic. It was a great way to dive back in. And then it was just an onslaught from there. I went back and looked. We had a trip in March that was fantastic. And let's go down memory lane, shall we? This was the part I was waiting to get to. Again, everybody, I just want to say thanks to anybody who's even considered doing any kind of donating to the channel tonight. I know we're not out doing anything, but It would go a very, very, very long way, I can tell you that. So let me get these photos pulled up and we shall go down memory lane. I am gonna go. Oh, hold on, I gotta copy. I gotta save this. Hold on, y'all. I forgot it was giveaway night tonight, so let me jump in. Wow, I just happened to get on Instagram at the right time, I guess. Disney World. Alright, let's add in, put on your Sunday. How about Sunday clothes?
Put on your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out.
Cool. Oh snap, and I forgot I'm supposed to share this to my stories too. I haven't been doing great this week. Can you imagine that we almost skipped the streak? Anyway, I'm getting this giveaway posted because this is parts of what helps me make any kind of money whatsoever. Okay, here we go. I gotta go to archives. I think March trip was still in here, wasn't it? Blue popcorn. Archives. I gotta go to dates and then I gotta go way back. Here we go. I'll get you guys positioned in a way that this will work out. All right, January, February, I believe the March trip was right in here somewhere. Yes, here we go. Okay, cool. So this was the heading to the airport. This was my first solo trip. JetBlue knows where I'm going. Back for my second time staying at the All-Star Movies in the Toy Story area. Looks like we did a nice little poll there for which park I should have headed to. We're having the turkey sandwich and LeFou's brew for lunch. Getting this tripod set up. Okay, that was Kevin's first day ever. Kevin's first day ever. Oh, Steve, thank you, man. I appreciate that. This is back when I used to hang out with Ryan. Isn't it sad how the times have changed? Considering he was literally walking into Hollywood Studio, or walking into Epcot with Voldemort herself the other day. Look at this, happily ever after, right up front on the castle. Beautiful. Good night right there. Day 1 in the book. Day 2, flower and garden. We did some soaring. This is Lynn. God, I missed, this is like the original crew. A lot of these people, we're going to see a lot of crazy names popping up. A lot of old friends that turned into somehow enemies. But Lynn was not one of those people. She was always good, and she won my first giveaway I ever did, which was for this pin right here. Who's the leader of the club? That's right. Look at that. The old Main Street. Look at them. They even had, like, the Main Street people out. Crazy. This is old school. Check Venmo, good sir. Oh, thank you, Doc. I appreciate you guys very much. Here, let's get through this first trip, and then we'll update. So I had never been out to Wilderness Lodge ever. This day was my first time ever out there. As you can see, I was pretty shocked by the overall state of things. I was like, whoa, this is a crazy place. And I met Tim and Jen Tracker that day. They were great. I went to Artist Point for my first time, which had just opened basically a couple weeks before as this new Cinderella dining. I had my camera, I was all ready to go. Get a lot of my pictures so dark from back then, just cause, you know. Anyway. The desserts, they look delicious. Magic Kingdom, we popped in apparently just to do nothing really. See, this is what I mean. This is how I used to do it. I used to just pop back over here. And then extra magic hours at Epcot. Apparently I must have streamed them or something. New morning in a new room. This was because I had crazy neighbors, so they moved me. And I got everything set up over here. This is how I used to do it. All my cameras charged up. I had the better view. I was right behind, yep, Woody and Buzz. March 20th. This was a very special day. This was Bell Day. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but this was a vlog. We did what I called Bell Day, which is where I went to I'm gonna just turn this light. There we go. I went to each one of the parks that had something to do with Princess Belle. I went and saw the Beauty and the Beast sing along to start the day. This is back when, again, I used to hang out with a lot more people than I did. But Jeff and his daughter, they were always very nice people. Part 2 of Belle Day was Meeting Belle in Epcot. We had a blast. She was super nice. We were like, oh, we're going to go get dinner with, you know. Back when my Joffrey's post started. Part 3 of Belle Day, the Magic Mirror at Enchanted Tales, which, by the way, just reopened yesterday or the day before in Magic Kingdom. So this is Enchanted Tales, and then we went to Be Our Guest for dinner. And that was it. A little Splash Mountain stream looked like it happened that night. It looks like I went to Disney Springs, which is crazy. Who knows what the hell I did that night. Oh, I had to go to the gas station. I remember. Quick Dumbo. Look at that. Beautiful, the old school days. Day 4, looks like it was an Animal Kingdom day. I was telling Jenna about this. I don't know if this is what they used to do back in the day down in front of Wing Traders, was this mech suit show. It was sick. They used to do all kinds of tests. God, remember these fries? Talk about something I miss. Home Sweet Home. I've always loved Pandora. And then we went back to Flower and Garden for the croissant donut, which was bomb. God, I remember this thing like, whew. VIP night at Epcot. This was a pass holder night. We did Living with the Land, Soarin', 3 cabs. There was a dance party this night as well. It was a huge night. I have a full vlog of that on my channel as well. Day 5, I met up with Rachel and Kenneth. Not Kenneth. Jesus Christ, I'm so used to how things have changed. But this was Rachel's old boyfriend back in the day. But this is when I first had met Rachel. And we ran around. I had gotten the cupcake. This was cupcake day, basically. I went to All Star Music next door to All Star Movies. I got this Rapunzel cupcake. I brought it on the bus. I brought it all the way to Magic Kingdom, up Main Street to the Rapunzel area, and we took pictures of it. It was my most liked post, I think, ever, still to this day. Take Me Home, Country Roads. Look at that. What a great little post. Tom Sawyer Island. Look at that. Nice little lunch out at Aunt Polly's. Oh, my God. Do you remember back in the day, Aunt Polly's? Whew. Slinky Dog. Looks like I popped over to Studios. And then back to Magic Kingdom. Looks like Ariel meet and greet. And then that was apparently all I posted that night, huh? Where has Rachel and her dad disappeared to? Oh, Rachel doesn't really go to Disney much anymore. And she stopped doing Disney Princess Couture. She gave up. Well, not gave up on it. She walked away from it because she had done it for so long. But yeah, no, I miss seeing those guys around. They've had a lot going on for sure. But I got nothing but love for the Rachel and the gang. Her brothers, I love her brothers. Her mom's the best. Such great people. Oh my God, the Mickey tart back from Flower and Garden with the boba and the jam, the chocolate and the chocolate. Oh, Happily Ever After from Splash Mountain. R.I.P. to that. Day 7. This was my last day. I wouldn't have taken more than 7 days. I don't know how I even pulled this off. The pretzel bread with the beer flight. Oh, Italy, the fountain. Beautiful. Voices of Liberty. Nice day that was. As you can see, I've always been an Epcot guy. Oh, another tag with Ryan. God, we used to run around and do so much stuff together. But this was us eating the charcuterie and the pretzel from, what the hell is this place called? I had an 8th day. What was this place called? What's this place called? What the hell is this place called? Not Backlot. God, I haven't been in so long. It's got the music. It used to be the writer's stop, and I just can't for the life of me remember what they call it now. Tap House? Beer Flight? Place? Anyway, 7-hour wait for Flight of Passage on this day. That's fun. Yes, those things did used to happen. Baseline Tap House. That was it. Tap House. Thank you. Kali River was back up. Flight of Passage was down to 220 minutes at this point, which is, almost 4 hours. Must have been half the thing was down that morning or something. Have to wait for my Fast Pass. Yes. Vlog life, having the Pandoran sunrise and the old bao bun. God damn, that's a classic meal for me. Finally got on Flight of Passage by the looks of it. And then we went to Epcot, of course, because what do I love more than Epcot? Nothing. Look at that cake. The Rocky Road cake and the burnt end sandwich. Oh, these are classically good things. Coach N, what's up? How are you? Or should I say hello, Peter? Peter. You're looking good in your profile picture, Peter. You look good in your profile picture, Peter. Look at that, the Ranger slush. Used to come with that straw. Oh, this thing was good. Grape and green apple. It was crazy. Look at the cosmic fries. Remember these? They called them the Galaxy Loaded Fries. They used to have spicy Cheeto dust, bacon, like this creamy, like ranch kind of sauce. Oh my God, what the hell? That was it, apparently. Wow, what a good trip that looked like it was, huh? That was March. In April, we did not go back. And in May, I believe we did not go back either. I would say that our next trip would have been... I did go back in May? Holy God. Wait a minute. I went in February. Yo, I went in February. Holy God. So I went in October, December, February, March, May, what the hell? Look at how many trips we went on. Hold on. So we got to check. First things first is we got to check. Doc said he was nice enough to kick in on the adventures. Holy shit. Yo, dude, are you here? Where is he? Whoa, bro. Are you here? Are you in here right now? I'm gonna send you a box for that. You're gonna get a little box of gifts for that. I already sent you one with the Legos, but I'm gonna give you more treats. I'm gonna send you more treats. Is Brandon still in there? Damn, Brandon. I think he might have dipped out. Maybe he had to make some food. We gotta keep an eye out if he comes back in. That's it. That was huge. We're just gonna wait until he's here to even. I ain't even messing around. Dawn, you're here though, right? Still? Jersey Johnny, good evening. Dawn sent us a $25 ninja watching while she makes dinner. A little bit for this week. Oh, she's ninja watching while she makes dinner, so she won't be able to tell us that she's here. Sargento, what's up, bro? Wow. I gotta look back at my content. Because honest to God, I can't even believe that's how it was. Yeah, it had to have been because I shot 50 Disney vlogs before I ever even moved here. Yeah, so here it is, trip 3. Trip 3, I uploaded in Feb. Yeah, so it would have been February. Dawn is. I hope that you're still here and you heard that. Let's see who else is here. Is Duffy here still? Duffy, are you here still? Duffy, can you hear me? Thank you very much, Duffy, for your donation as well. $20 from Duffy, and of course her consistent logical explanations to things. That have you noticed the change since the Animal Kingdom Day, Duffy? Not a big one, just a little bit. How's Biggie? It's good. Why, you need him? How fast do you need him? I need a bucket for. I need a box for this thing, dude. I ain't got the right kind of box. The box they want at the post office is like $10. I gotta order something from Amazon that's like the same size as this pigment. He's hanging out. Don't worry, you're not just getting him. You're getting plenty of stuff. After that little bark box that you sent Ari and the toys you sent me, I've got some things coming your way with Figment. Believe that. Maybe I'll put them in a bigger box and I'll just stuff it full of other cool stuff. That's what I'm gonna do when I get off tonight. I'm gonna go figure out what kind of a box I can put your Figment in. And I'm gonna stuff it full of other stuff. You like other stuff, or is it gonna be a pain in your butt? I don't want to load you up on things if you're not gonna like them. Like, I got like nothing crazy. Not gonna be like, but I got cool. I got a couple cool maps. I got probably some extra signature cards and stuff from dining things. I probably have some, like, you know, the maps mostly. I probably have some cool maps that I could throw in there. Maybe I could throw a plushie or two in there for you. I don't know. What do you think? Did you get the mug? The mug. The mug. I don't think I got a mug. I got Ari's Bark box. The box that had that, it had a little Pirates of the Caribbean thing in there as well. It had a candle. Oh, in that box there was also a Haunted Mansion mug, right? Or did I get what mug? What mug? You talking about a mug for you? What mug? This mug? Yes, dude, I did. My bad. I was trying to give you an overall thank you for the whole box because there was so many cool things in there. The little pirate guy, the candle. That was a Disney. They just dropped all those candles. And then Ari's stuff, she uses it all the time. She ate that ball in about 2 seconds, but the rope, she still uses the rope. Yeah, dude. No, you're the man. I appreciate it. That was very nice of you. Everybody who has sent boxes, Ari boxes, it's amazing. He sings. Oh, yeah. I didn't take him out. I didn't know he sung. Also, we got to give a huge shout out, of course, to Sargento. Sargento with the $20 towards the weekly goal. This man, he is consistently saving the day. But we all got to keep an eye out for Brendan. Brendan, where is he? We need to get him back in here. I didn't open the little guy. Well, I will. I'll open him up. I'll put him in the spare room. Toys. It's a house full of toys. Wow, I can't believe there was a February trip too. Let's take a look at it, shall we? This was my first ever solo trip right here. My first ever solo trip to Walt Disney World, right after I'd taken my trip with Alex for Christmas. It was my first Festival of the Arts, 2019. Magical Express, front row, that's where I used to ride. On this time I stayed at Pop Century. It was dumping rain. My stories here are gonna suck because I hadn't really come into my own yet. This was Big Thunder. We had lunch at Be Our Guest. Hall of Presidents. We got out of Magic Kingdom. Looks like we went over to Toy Story. Oh, I remember this night. Toy Story is when I did I did a couple live streams from Instagram this trip because, again, Instagram was where things were popping off, and I used to do live streams a lot from there. So technically, I've been live streaming for a hell of a long time if I think about it. And then look at that. I went to Springs again this night. Why the hell would I have done that? Maybe because it was just the place that was open the latest. Oh, cool. This was the Upbird adventure. Went to Tiffin's. This was the first time I met Joanna. God, 2019. Look at that. Look at the young Tom with his headband and his no gray beard. Look at the no gray. Well, a little bit, right? I got it a little bit on both sides, but it hadn't quite taken over. Here we are 4 years later. I am a A+. Look at this. I'm giving Tiffin's the A+. This was my favorite dessert in the world back in the day. Remember the ganache? Oh, my God. Anyway. There's Kevin. This was Kevin's first day ever. Ari, are you chewing on? If you're chewing on that carpet, I am going to jack you Oh, what is this? Oh, Pandora at night. Oh, this was when I got left in Pandora. Kevin became my most liked post ever at the time. That was cool. The Pop Century tie-dye cheesecake. God, I love this thing. I ate it every night I was there. Looks like it was a morning at Magic Kingdom from the Enchanted Tiki Room. Even then, I thought this ride is so basic. Pre-gimbal days? Oh my God, this was... So this was 2019, February 12th, 2019. And you can tell I hadn't even learned how to put backing on my letters yet. So you couldn't even read some of my posts. This was all shot with like an iPhone 6 Plus, these pictures. But that was the lobster mac and cheese cone. God, that thing was great. Soarin', single rider. They do that back in the day. They would pull you down the hallway. If you were a single rider, they let you go down the one side so you could get by like super fast. Look at that. Now, did this thing come back? This thing didn't come back for Festival of the Arts this year. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, what are you chewing over there? No, for real, what were you just chewing on? Huh? What was that sound? What is this? What was that, Ari? So this didn't come back for Festival of the Arts this year. Holy God, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. Now I gotta screenshot that and send it to Jenna because she probably never... They did have the cake, however. Look at that. Back when Spaceship Earth used to always take my headband away. My own private Epcot bus. That's cool. This was morning from the Trolley Car Cafe, Hollywood Studios. First time on in 10 years. Oh, this is a good story. So this got posted. This was rope drop. I rope dropped Hollywood Studios. I got my coffee. I was the first person behind. This is back when they used to have an actual rope that you walked behind the rope. I got to the end of Hollywood Boulevard, and Rock and Roller Coaster was closed. It was what I was going to ride. So I had this moment where I was either going to be the first person on Tower of Terror, or I was going to be the 100,000th person on Slinky Dog, because those were the only two rides I wanted to ride. And Slinky was all the way in the back of the park. Everybody would have beat me there. But I could have been the first person on this. So I was the first person on Tower. First time in 10 plus years. Ralph and Penelope had just premiered, so I went and met them. This is February 13th. Up here you see February 13th, 2019. Looks like the Dapper Dans. A nice day with those guys. We did Festival of Fantasy Live on Instagram. And look at that. It was just a couple day trip, huh? Wow. Look at that. So I showed up on the 10th. My first post, what time in the morning? It was 5:06 in the morning. I got into Orlando by 9:10. And then I got to the resort and in the parks by noon. So the first day was the 10th. I did 12 hours. Look at that. That post is from 11. Wow. Holy God. And then the next day was day 2. And then there would have been day 3. I only did 4 days. Well, like 4.5. It's a quick trip. And that's maybe why this trip that was in March was so big. That's why I did 8 days in this March trip. You were there in February, November that year. You missed me, dude, in February because I was there. So April, I did not come back down. Right now, we're going to have to go back to the... we're going to have to go back to this. That was trip 3. So this was trip 4, Home Sweet Home. And that was March. This was the big trip. Trip 4 has tons of vlogs because I was there for 8 days. So it had 16 vlogs. Because every day I split in 2 parts. I know this was the last one. And then trip 5 was May 28th. So that means it would have had to have been, what, this day right here? The 19th. There you go. All right, so May 19th, 5:22 a.m. There we go, heading out. This is when the Instagram stories would have got better. Look at the Starbucks in the background. That's funny. Fuel station number 1. Pandora, the baggage carousel, always knows where I'm going day 1. That's true. It was every single time I showed up, it had the place where I was going. But we did early dinner, apparently, at Be Our Guest. And then, I met up with Ed, my buddy Ed from the Traveling Husbands. Got that Flight of Passage Fast Pass. Come on now. We're back to AK. And I was the last person in Pandora and in Animal Kingdom that night. That was my first ever closeout. I was the last guest. To take this picture on the bottom, I made the 6 cast members that were walking behind me. I said, "Can y'all get out of my way?" And they stood on each side of me as I took this picture. There was nobody, there was not a single guest in the park behind me that night. That was a hell of an experience. Look at that day. That was a good day. Well, Emily. I guess you'll start to see a lot of Emily tags probably. This is when Emily and I first started talking. Back again before all that went awry. Look at this, the Moana shirt. Okay. Bringing it back. Divine, beautiful. Oh, some okapis, hippos. What does this mean? Hours. Oh, look at the line for Flight of Passage all the way back here in Africa. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Nemo show. Oh, look at that. I did another Tanya and I rode Flight of Passage that day. That was actually one of the first days that her and I ever hung out too together. Tiffin's again. This also could have been when I met Joe, actually. I'm pretty sure this would have been it. Oh, look at me and Tanya. So I'm going to send her that. God, look at this. Primeval Whirl. Huh. Remember these days? Jumbo House. Sanaa. This is when I started doing resort stuff. Back for Happily Ever After. Mine Train. Look at my view. I love that from All Star Sports. That's great. That was a great view. There you go. The boomerangs. The good old days. Does this count as breakfast? When did I meet Pat? Oh, I met Pat in 2020. Ride number 1, Sweet Emotion, Rock and Roller Coaster. Lightning McQueen, Frozen. Look at the Skyliners hadn't opened yet. Heading back for some pool time. I shot a great pool vlog this day with the GoPro. And then I went back to Flower and Garden, of course. Had my old Smash Soarin' shirt on. That's a good one. Test track. Bubblegum wall. There you go. I was already starting to hate on my phone. I was getting annoyed with it at that point. Extra magic hours. Excellent. Look at that. Riding a lot of stuff. Oh, look at that. Come on. A little bedroom 1 a.m. feast. Oh, my God. Living with the Land. Man, back to... This was, what'd you call it there? Turtle Talk. Magic Kingdom. Oh, Oh, my first galactic hero, huh? Oh, Dad, I met Jen and Scott. That was a great day. Back to Magic Kingdom after that little trip up to Cali Grill. It's like we spent the whole day in Magic. God, and there it is. That's when I first... Wow. May 22nd, 2019 were the first ever aerial shots. Holy shit. That's a memory. That's something to remember. That I found that shot this night. May 22nd, 2019. Holy moly. Am I consistent or what? Here you go, a little private boat ride. Philhar Magic before the park closed. This was Splash Mountain. This was the Rivers of America. No, this was the What is this? This had to be the moat around the castle. There you go. Hollywood Studios morning from Toy Story Mania. Haven't been on this in 10 years. Oh, Muppets. God, that's probably the last time I was on it, too. Oh, look at me getting soaked on Cali. Kevin's back. Flame Tree Barbecue. Once a trip, you'll see this post. There you go. Cheshire Cat Cafe with the cold brew. Classic. Space Mountain. Dumbo. LeFou's Brew. Quick little spring roll before we what? Fly out. There we go. Cool. That was the May trip. After the May trip, what happened? There's the pool day. That's a great vlog. We're looking for trip 6. There it is. Trip 6. Which I guess would have been when? August? September. Holy God, that was a huge time between trips. Because I had to work all summer, that's why. There had to have been a July trip. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, yes, it does. Because I would have taken forever to upload this whole trip. Because the first one's... What about the first part of that trip, Dave? Trip 5. Would have been in when? May. And that's the trip that we just looked at. There it is. Yeah, it would have been Galaxy's Edge, I guess, is the next trip. Oh, that's day 4 already. There, trip. Freaking 4:51 a.m. on this one. That's the earliest of all the posts so far. Look at that. It always knew, didn't it? Isn't that crazy that it always had the spot that we were going the first day, every single trip? I always thought that was a mind-blowing thing. Home Sweet Home, Disney, Fantasia Building. This is when I first got the 8 Plus, so it'll look like a lot better. Back at All-Star Movies, my favorite place. Move and Shake It, first day. Well, that I ever had seen it. It might have been its first day ever, too. Be Our Guest again. Look at this. Nice little, the red float. Remember that thing? That's a classic old one. Red's Revenge, they called it. Look at that. There's a great big beautiful air conditioner in here. That's a funny one. Foolish Mortals. Look at that. Haunted Mansion. Back to the room for a shower. Epcot. Diet Epcot. Soarin'. Les Artisans de Glacé. I didn't know at the time. I thought this was the new king, but actually this thing sucks. Oh, Stacy. Remember? Used to stay up watching that stuff. I loved that. Good morning from Epcot. God, the pie, there it is. The greatest snack of all time. Jesus. This was Galaxy's Edge fake opening day. A bunch of people getting food at Baseline. I came back and had some food at the resort, drinks, and then we went back to Magic. Pinocchio's first flatbread I ever had. Look at that, it's a great shot. Ariel. Ah, yes, here it is. Galaxy's Edge opening day. Quick trip to Arendelle before the Batu. And there we go. It was great. This is Galaxy's Edge opening day. This was Olga's. First ever round of food. Kadu ribs. Trying the milks, mixing them. Back to Olga's again. We did the Jello shots. I did the beer flight that day. Then we went to the Poly for some nighttime magic. Back to Magic for a late night session of Nuggets and Galaxy's Edge. Oh, this is where I signed the lease for my apartment. There you go. This is when I was first starting to move down here. There you go. Mike Doty busting up a Starbucks, even back then, of course. There we go. Oh, the crab cakes. I forgot about those. Ah, the Beverly Challenge. Jesus Christ. I'm sure you all remember this day vividly for those of you who've been watching the Diz community for a while. Closing out Pandora. This was a good night with all the gang. We were the last people on there. Day 5. Magic Kingdom. Sunny Eclipse. Gotta love him. Coffee with the Cheshire Cat. Magic. Oh, look at this. Look at all these people I used to like. I still like them, though. The Oogie Boogie Bucket. Cool. Yeah, this is a good Magic Kingdom day. Back to Epcot. Flavors of Fire. Oh, yeah. Come on. Look at all that grub. This was the mousse with the guava and pineapple. This was the tostada they used to have. And this was the little barbecue sandwich. Charcuterie at a festival. Remember that? At the Canadian Festival? I do. Hey there, Delilah. What's it like in New York City? I've been seeing the plain white tees at Epcot for many years now. Back to Galaxy's Edge, apparently, for some adventures in the morning. We were at Animal Kingdom. Oh, to get the Simba magnet. This was the line. I remember that. So many of these shirts got lost in the process. It's crazy. I don't know where. I must have just left them at the resorts. Festival of the Lion King. Nice. There it is. The classic tag of the barbecue fries. Back to Magic Kingdom. Oh, this was with Emily that night we went to Royal Table. This was my first time up there. We stayed there all damn night for the fireworks and everything. We saw the fireworks. We saw everything. It was awesome. Ba-bum, 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 bum, 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 bum. Ah, back to Batu. Ronto wraps. God dang. Wet rains. Oh, look at that. It was dumping. Oh my God, remember they used to give you these? I didn't even remember they used to do this. You used to get your thing on what you were. Oh my God. So many people probably took these things somehow. There it is, the classic shirt. Ah, yes, Mickey's Not So Scary. My first, this was my first, like, year that I had stayed in. My first full, like, season. Because the first time I had come to this was, you know, Halloween season to Halloween season. Ah, the Cadaver Dance. This, of course, was when I first had started to think about moving here, and I had the party pass, so there was a tremendous amount of content this year from that party. Oh, this was the Hurricane. Looks like Hollywood. God, look at these. I forgot this. Anyway. Look at that. We popped over to Studios, back to Magic. Magic again. Magic. Oh, look at that. We're at, this is at Spaceship Earth. These guys. Ah, come on. Frozen. Love it. Oh, yeah. The day I met Justin. This was a great day. Let me shoot a thing for him up here. Michael. God, Rod, too bad. Things went sour between everybody. Here we go. Animal Kingdom. Then I went back to Magic for a little bit. And then I moved. This was the last time I saw the inside of MCO for a long time. And then, of course, the local adventures began. And if you were to go to my story highlights, the local Walt Disney World adventures, there's about, I can't even begin to tell you how far we've all come. All those early story posts were from 2018 to 2019 when I moved here. once I got here, everything turned up a bunch. I everything, you know. So the amount of content that I was posting was tremendous. You can go back and watch hundreds and hundreds, and I probably 1,000 posts, story posts from my Walt Disney World local life highlights. They are endless sometimes. It blows my mind when I try to go back and watch them. I'm like, holy moly. Look at this little dog shaking her butt at me, huh? Look at how cute she is. Show them how cute you are, huh? Show them the cuteness overload that is you. Oh, those are permanent tan lines on my feet. Perma lines. Ow! That's my toe. She is amazing. Yes, Dawn, I saw yours. I think you were cooking, but I acknowledged yours. We're still waiting for Brendan to come in as well. As I was taking us all down that trip down memory lane, we had a lot of generous donations come in. A lot, actually, so. Dawn was in at the $25. Again, thanks to Duffy. Duffy for her 20, Sargento for his 20. And Brandon, whenever he comes back in, Brandon. I always call him Brandon. Sometimes I say Brendan, dude. You know I mean Brandon. I had a friend growing up, Brendan. And every Brandon I've ever met, I've always done that little Brandon. It's like Aaron. I used to always be like, Aaron. And he'd be like, Aaron. I'd be like, yeah, Aaron. And he's like, no, Aaron. I'm like, oh, yeah. My bad. My stepmom's Aaron. And then my stepmom, Erin, always used to yell at me because she'd be like, my name's not Aaron, it's Erin. I'm like, yeah, whatever, Aaron. But dude, Doc came in hot with the $100 donation, and that puts us up, ow, stop biting my foot. Puts us up way closer to meeting our weekly goal this week, which is all I can ask for. I will be, I think maybe in the morning I can call over I think I'm going to try to go over to Toyota a little earlier tomorrow. And while I'm up there, I should actually do a couple things while I'm up there. So I got to go to Toyota tomorrow. But after that, I should be totally responsibility free for the week. I looked at the flower and garden menus. Dude, I appreciated Dawn. Without Dawn, we would have been in a lot of trouble. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything, but obviously Jenna and I, you know, we have a lot of fun. So it gets a little, I kind of forget sometimes what the hell we're doing. She's the best. We had a lot of fun, and it was great getting into the parks and start creating some good new memories with her. She's never been. But yeah, if you guys look into that Walt Disney World local stuff, you'll see that really the most consistent people who have been around the channel for a long time now are Mike and Lisa and Pierce and Courtney and Jen A pops in every once in a while. Erica pops in every once in a while. They were some of my original people that I got to know. Jen was, I think, the first person I ever met that knew who I was. And she was like, "Are you Tom Says Disney?" We hung out. And it was super, super cool. Like, I don't know. It's been such a wild ride, and it's like often I've wondered to myself like how some of these people have come and gone in my story. And I think it's because maybe at first I was a little too just kind of lackadaisical, like, oh yeah, I'll be friends with everybody. Obviously, that's not the way to do it. You gotta pick and choose who you want in your life. People like Pat, Tanya, these people are not going anywhere. People like Pierce, Courtney, and Dawn, and, you know, again, people like Doc, Scuba Steve, Jersey Johnny, a lot of these guys, even if I've only met y'all once or twice, you've been here for quite a long time now. And we've gone through a lot of trials and tribulations in that time. You know, when I first started streaming, a lot of people cut loose because they kind of saw a side of me that I think that was me, a lot more me than the vlogs. I've always been able to choose and edit what was happening. Live streams, you'll get a much more raw version of me, which is what you've all gotten to know because you've watched the streams predominantly. So you guys have gotten to know the real me, and I feel like that's a much more safe way about doing it because nothing's ever going to shock you guys. You're not going to be like, oh, I'm surprised that Tom was like making those people with their kids at the $100 meal feel like they were assholes. You know, back in the day that would have shocked people. They thought I was like the most, I don't know what they thought about me from the vlogs. But when I started streaming, people were like, oh, whoa, this guy's a little more rough around the edges than I would have expected. And it scared a lot of people away. Some people not so much, but a lot of those early faces that you saw, between all the drama that went down with Emily and that overall just me moving down here and showing my full kind of personality to people, yeah, that was, they all just, they dumped. They all just dipped. And a lot of them were terrible people in the first place. I mean, if you think about it, it's hard to imagine that somebody like Ryan would be spending his time still to this day with like a person like Voldemort. Like, that just blows my mind. I know the level of conversation there. It's not exactly like TED Talk level, you know? So it's interesting to me. I think in a lot of ways, so much of this vindication towards like me is such a weird thing. And I'm sure a lot of it, I guess, nowadays could be coincidence, and I hope that most of the time that it is, but it's interesting when you go back and you look at stuff like that. I'm like, wow, like these people were pretty important parts of my, you know, life. I don't want you to think that it's like, that it's everybody you saw in those posts. A lot of those people are still great people. Rachel, I never really, you know, even though Jeff and people like that dropped out of the picture, I never have a bad word to say about that guy ever. You know, he's a great guy. But some people like, you know, Rod and Emily and Ryan especially that you saw in a lot of those posts, I mean, you know, we got in, that was really, it was really kind of blah. It's interesting to think, it's almost like a rite of passage, not to rip off some Disney lines, but in a lot of ways, I think it happens to everybody to some extent. Like a lot of the people that first start watching them fade to the sides because it's kind of like your growing pains, you know? You got to kind of learn like where you stand in this great wide world of people doing this. And then once you find your place, you can be kind of more comfortable. I almost wish I hadn't interacted really with a lot of people until I had figured that out. And that's why nowadays it's much easier for me to just be able to wave at these people, to be able to keep my stuff my own. You know, back in the day, it would be like, oh, come on, Tom, you know, I don't want to do this because we're working together on this thing, or you're featured on my channel. I don't want people to think I'm hanging out with this guy. You know, you don't want stuff like that. So it's best to just kind of stay in your lane and let the people who matter stay, you know? Oh my God, thanks to the Holbrook family as well. William and the gang, True Blue Colts fan. Another $20 came in from these guys. That's very nice of you. Yeah, this year's gonna be a good year. We're gonna start to close out this crazy daily adventure. And I'm gonna be able to refocus in on so much of what I once did. I'm looking back at those kind of stories, the days that I used to have. I want to have those days again, and I just don't know how to do it. With Jenna, it's easy because I'm seeing things new through her eyes. With myself, I how do I get to a point where I'm like, not only am like staying in the park for the whole damn day. How would I even get to that point? Just by myself. How could I spend, forget about Ari. Say Ari could come with me. Or that she was fine here all day, which she really is. Say I didn't even have to worry about that. It was a couple months ago before I even had her. What's preventing me from going out there and doing those big giant days again? Well, it's the fact that I don't have any need to do that. It's like, why the hell would I go spend 12 hours in Disney World when, first of all, I got a lot of stuff that needs to get done here at the house. It's not like I got somebody else here, like, cleaning stuff up for me, right? It's like I got a house to take care of. And outside of that, what would I really, like, is Pirates of the Caribbean that good? That you'd want to ride it like 2,000-3,000 times in your life? I don't know. True story, Colin. We were at the plaza eating, and the teen next to us said your name and called you the Disney Antichrist. True story. Yeah, no, I know. I know. That's a true story. People hate me in this community. Some of them absolutely despise me, especially at the time, because all my drama was going down. People they had no idea. They didn't like the way that I interacted with cast members. Cast members were pissy about the way I interacted with cast members. I was, in a lot of ways, like, that place is, I love it, but I will say that the people who tend to, like, do this, I don't know. I think anybody judging me is not really taking a super hard look in the mirror. Because I'm holding the doors for old ladies. You know, it's not like I'm some, you know, if you really were to observe me, the way I talk to people, the general, if you're presenting me with respect, the amount of respect I show, I don't know. I think most of them really focused on the drama of the early parts of this move, you know? I wasn't as smart as I should have been about a lot of things. I took, you know, I jumped in with a lot of people that I didn't really know as well as I should have to be doing the kind of stuff I was doing with it, you know? There weren't any contracts, no legal binding stuff, the kind of things that will keep you secure when you really don't know somebody. The only way to really trust somebody when you don't 100% know them is like making sure there's like there's ways that you can back. Oh my God, you are not chewing on this. What is the matter with you? This isn't something for you, and you eat it up too. Yeah, so that would have made sense too, if you think about it. September of 2021 was right after all my, everything went down. Yeah, I was on probation at that time. That's when I first got put on probation. Like, that was not a good time to be me. That was not an easy time to be Tom. Life isn't about easy. We pray not for easy lives, pray to be stronger men. But yeah, that was a wild adventure. I'm a pretty law-abiding citizen, so to have so much of my character brought into question, not only among people who don't even know me, but be brought up in a court of law, it was a very interesting time for me. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. It was rough to experience, I can tell you that. Well, we can all be happy that at least, you know, that part of my life is long in the past. You know, I was talking to Jenna about this the other night. Oh my God, it was crazy in terms of how blind I was in certain situations and all this. You know, compared to how, like, we've gone at it, for example, her and I, right? Like, she has a son. She has to make sure she's careful about who she brings into her life. I have PTSD so I gotta be careful about who I bring into my life. And it's been good to have that kind of, like, you know, and I've known Jennifer longer than I knew most of those people that quote unquote betrayed me. Certainly betrayed my trust, my word, my friendship. And I think it's important to, I mean, that's certainly something from now on. And I knew that, you know, going through that class and everything. I was like, the next person, guy, you know, who doesn't matter if it's a friend, a girlfriend, a business partner, anything. You know, I'm going to have to make sure I know this person well, or I'm going to have to take things nice and slow and get to know them before there's any kind of, you know, serious, like, yeah. You gotta be careful. You never know what people's intent is. You know, Polly Steve, what's up, man? Anyway, that's down a different kind of memory path that we don't have to go down. We don't have to go down that one. This phone needs to get put on a charger. No, you're good. No, trust me, it makes me trust. I've thought about that a lot, you know. Over time, you know. Especially, I mean, for me, my most important moment wasn't really any of that. My most important moment was the moment we had an Animal Kingdom. Now, you know, 160 something days ago now. 170 days ago now. Oh, 270 days ago now. Right? Is that how that works? No. Yeah, 100 and something days ago. On day 500. Day 500 was a huge wake-up call for me in a lot of ways. First of all, it made me realize what my goal was with this whole thing, why I was doing it. But also made me, snap me out of a place that I had been in for a long time at Disney. Of, you know, feeling as though I had some kind of right to that place, and I don't really have. At the end of the day, yeah, should Disney, you know, should Disney make sure I can park at a place that I've always been able to park at? Can I get a cup of water? Certain things I freak out about, yeah, but those moments with guests of being like, not some guy throwing his kid on the trash can in front of you or that type of thing. Just literally just being like, I'm eating my wontons and somebody comes and sits next to me. Being so over the place of, like, you know, being, I don't know, that's not it, right? Because I'm a guest. We're all guests. So that was my biggest wake-up call, I think, probably in the whole entire adventure. And I've honestly, I've treated the parks a lot differently since then. You know, I've come to realize that I think I was taking them, you know, definitely for a while, I was taking them for granted. That's a dangerous thing to do with a place like Disney World. Because, you know, you take that place for granted and you mess up the wrong way, and next thing you know, you're never going back. You can kiss a place like that goodbye, you know? And I certainly don't want to provide anybody with any legitimate reasons to be pulling my card. But I own property over there. BBC. I'm an annual pass holder for 5 years now. And I spend a lot of money at Walt Disney World. So although Disney may all be some slack here and there, the guest doesn't. So we all paid to be there. You missed a trip down memory lane. We went and looked at some old trips. Talked about some ones that were never recorded. And I suppose the end of it has turned into a little bit of a real talk. A little bit of real talk at the end. You'll do the replay. Legend. Well, I can't believe I almost streamed for 2 hours here tonight. That conversation got a lot longer than I thought it was gonna. But we have to give a huge shout out to everybody because altogether we got very close to like $200 worth of donations tonight, which is enough to make me shut up about it probably for the rest of the week until the weekend when we got to close out the goal. But we're pretty close to closing it out now. So I'm going to get that sucker adjusted and ready for tomorrow. As I said, I have to bring Ari to the dog park. I have to go to Toyota to help fix my lights that are all jacked up. I would like to go to Epcot tomorrow night. I'd like to really do a couple things tomorrow night. I've only seen Fantasmic once. I really would like to jump right back into it, but because I have so many responsibilities tomorrow, I just don't know how it's all going to shake out. But I can tell you that on Thursday, we will be at Epcot, and we will be checking out all those things before it gets started because that festival is going to be long and we're going to want to be prepared for it. I'm going to need a new Mickey watch cover. This year's about to pop. Mr. Cap, that's hope you have a good evening. Thanks for stopping in. This party's wrapping up, y'all. And it's wrapping up fast. I'm gonna call Jenna, see what the heck she's doing, and go from there. I'm gonna fill up that fish tank too, because that sound of running water is nice, but it kind of drives me nuts. Should I shut up now? I think I should. I would say goodnight to you all individually, but it would take a while. To the Mod Squad, thanks for keeping it real for many years now. Appreciate you all. Again, Brandon, Dawn, Duffy, Sargento, and the True Blue Colts fam. Thank you all very, very much for your donations tonight. They will go a long way considering the amount of stuff I got to handle this week and Disney I want to get done. Thank you for allowing me to continue this crazy life of being a full-time creator and homeowner. It is not easy, but it's fun. It's it's definitely what they meant when they said adulthood. You might not think so, but believe me when I tell you that. I don't stop. Thank you, friends. Good night, and I appreciate every single one of you. Much love. See you tomorrow.